Hi, it's gonna be really shoddy. I'm just trying to make a. Let me turn this down a little bit. This is just gonna be a temporary thing until my VIP swapper is fixed. It's currently broken. I can't use it, so I can't make a template character, which I've been itching to make since a lot of pwnlings don't know how to use the skill builder. Which this is gonna be a rough guideline on how each of these blocks work. From what I know with how JJS works, I've been in pretty mediocre JJS skill builder, so there's a lot of stuff here that I understand, and I'm heard it's buggy. I couldn't tell you how buggy it is. I'd love to mess around with how buggy it is, but you know, my VIP solver broke. Um, so I'm gonna have to wait a bit. I'll try to get as soon as it's fixed, like patch drops, I'll get immediately on it, and I'll try to get it out within the day. Um, yeah, so, up here, or well, yeah, this is wait block. Node is essentially just where it is on the timeline, and wait is how long it waits. It seems yeah, you can only go down to 0.5 seconds, which is 0.05, which seems to be a common thing where you can't actually go to 0 on any of these blocks. That's something I've just seen while just checking it out. Animation allows you to select an animation from just currently available VIP characters and put them in. Even some stuff that's fully chopped. I guess John Doe is here. No need to have his stuff, but you could make some pretty funny stuff using those animations. End time is when the animation, or well, let me use a better animation that I can use as an example. Alright. This is the normal animation, it's full, right? If I were to set an end time, let's say essentially 0.5 seconds, it will cut off there. Start time is similar. It will start and it will interact with end time just like it does. It will start at that exact position. Speed does it does. It is a speed multiplier. So 0.5 will, yeah. No, to self-explainer, it will loop. I don't know how loop works exactly. I'm going to assume it works it will continue looping until the next animation block, but I'm not sure. Now here's the thing I've seen a lot of people struggle with the concept of. The last hit, I think the explanation of it is kind of shoddy. In a simple explanation, -1 is going to always affect yourself. Turning this to, let's say, 1 will have this node effect activate on anyone who's been hit within the last second. So if you were to have a hitbox, then typically in JJS, I'm not sure how bad the delay is here, but for my JJS movesets, I usually put a 0.1 second delay, and then a last hit, it will make the person who's hit by this hitbox play this animation in this case. Hitbox, as seen over here, has a lot of properties. So, active time means how long the hitbox is going to stay up. It will exist for a long amount of time and will disappear after the fact. Attack type, I believe just is essentially how... Think of it as a ranking. Melee is the bottom, bullets medium, and explosions the top. This is mainly used for the counter block. We'll get there when we get there, right? Blockable means because some things in base game, whenever you get hit by with something like Gunhound and Bash, you have a block state enabled that will automatically block any future stuff like another Gunhound Bash and stuff like that. Branch and branch target. I should explain this first, but I'll get to it here. This is gonna be shoddy. I said this before at the beginning. It's a shoddy just thing. It's gonna be a shoddy explanation. I'll make a better tutorial that's better formatted when I get access to a VIP swapper. Branch I think I've used this example in the Pwned server. I need to turn on the Roblox again. This is loud. We imagine the timeline, branch as a timeline. I think I called it that. Think of it as a timeline. Now, let's say a branch is a divergence in the timeline. If something calls to go to a branch, it will stop. It will not proceed to the next node. Instead, it will go to the start of a new branch. So let me just put like an animation here and grab, right? This hitbox will call to go to branch 1, right here. If this hitbox successfully lands, it will move over to branch 1 and do this, instead of continuing on. The same can be said of branch target. If you hit someone, it will make them go to, let's say, branch 2. Yeah, branch 2. In which they will do the actions on branch 2. So, currently I believe stun is broken from what I've heard, so I guess like no sprint. So if someone was hit with this hitbox, they will go to branch 2 via a branch target and suffer the effect of no sprint for 5 seconds. Cancel can kill means if it can kill. I feel like that's self-explanatory. Cancel enemies, I've seen a lot of people actually struggle with the concept of. Let's say there is a gunhound charging up a dash. Now, if you were to hit them with this, well, I'm assuming. I can't actually test this, but I'm going to make a educated guess based off how it works in JoJo's. If you were to hit a gunhound with this hitbox while they're charging up their attack, you would cancel what they're doing. So it would cancel the gun bash ability. Damage, self-explanatory. Debris, I think, just means particle effects on the ground. I'm not sure. Delay. I actually don't know. I'm assuming like the delay on when it comes out, but you're gonna have to spare me all that. Last hit, it will instead make the hitbox be tied to the person you last hit in the, let's say, 1 second. I don't know why that's here. It's on there in JoJo as I remember correctly, but yeah. Node, we've already went over this. Possession, X, Y, and Z. This is your offset. It will normally, your hitbox is always in the humanoid root part, which for people who don't know what that means it's essentially in the middle of your body. So this is offset 4 ahead of you, and the hitbox is just a simple 6x6x6 square. So it's essentially just in front of you. So if I were to make an increase of Y value, it will instead of a higher height value. This is also, it ends up equalizing itself where it doesn't change its core position. So, this is more so, 1 higher and 1 lower. It's a bit weird. I'm assuming it's like that, like JJ's. Single target means if it can only hit a single person if it's on, and if it's off, it can hit anyone in the hitbox. Stun animation means if they're hit with it, they just play a little animation, and stun means how long they cannot take action for. Velocity, affect X, Y, and Z means it will, affect those axes. Fade means it will gradually slow down after when the time reaches its end. Force X means your left or right, so right is 50, so let's say this 20 plus 20 is to your right, minus 20 is to your left. So 10y is up, minus 10y is down. 10z is forward, minus 10z is backwards. Last hit, we know how that works. It will instead affect the person who you hit last. Otherwise, if it's minus 1, it hits yourself. Ragdoll means essentially how long they're ragdolled for. So let's say like Crash Dummy's overdriven dash. When they hit a wall, when she hits a wall, them or her and herself and the person she grabs will be ragdolled for that amount of time. It's like that. Time, how long the velocity block is active. I think that's way for finisher, and I'm not sure what that does exactly just yet. Once again, I can't test it. Sound, self-explanatory. Cancel means if it shares a sound ID, and if a sound ID of the same thing is already playing, it will instead cancel it. End means in seconds when it will end. Global means if everyone hears it on the same. That's just a general thing. Last hit, self-explanatory. Sound ID is your ID you use for playing sounds. Speed, self-explanatory. Start, where it starts, and volume. That's pretty obvious. State. There's a lot of states. So cancel and end means as soon as the skill is done, it will cancel. Everything related to the state will end. Last state, state's done means they're inoperable. Iframe means they cannot be hit. No sprint means they can't sprint. No, a lot of these are self-explanatory. Blocked means, I think it's the same thing as like what happens when you get hit by a gunhound blast and it's on a cooldown. Direction lock means you can change your direction. Speed, jump, scale, stunt, yeah. Value is for stuff like the multipliers. So for jump multiplier, if I were to set it 2, it will increase your jump height by 2, 3, same thing. Time, yep, that is self-explanatory. Branch, this will simply just move to the next branch, right? Move to a branch of your choosing, so I have 2 branches, so I can choose between main, branch 1, and branch 2. Random, I've seen someone ask about this once. So, it's like JJS, it doesn't have the selector thing like other. So you'll have to type in branch 1, and then branch 2, or like this. There cannot be a space between the between the commas, assuming if it works like JJS, because it gets buggy. So when it lands on this block, it will choose between branch 1 or branch 2, and then go to that one. If I were to go to visual, I think this is bugged. There's only a single effect, and that's after image. So that is how much of the amount. I don't know how much it affects this. Oh, okay. So I'm learning. I haven't really messed with the after image because I don't have a use for after image. Color, it's an RGB. So just use like a use the Google color picker. That will help you. Interval, I believe. Yeah, okay. I don't know what interval does. Last hit, yeah. Time, yeah. Transparency, how transparent is so turner 1, yeah. 0.8, it's gonna be 0.8 or I did not set it at 0.8. Oops. 0.8 is 0.8 transparent. I'm assuming it's bugged or we just haven't got any other visual effects. Well, you'll just have to see. I guess we'll grab. So actually, let me go to this so I can actually explain it. So if I were to get a hitbox, my obligatory wait just in case, because I'm paranoid that tick rates are gonna be fucked. So let's say someone's hit, in this case by this hitbox, and then there's a grab at the 0.05. It will target the last hit by 1, and then your limb means, whatever limb the body part's gonna be attached. So let's say I have a right arm to torso. Your right arm, their torso is gonna be bound to their right arm, specifically the middle of the torso. Position X, Y, Z, or Z, Y, yeah, it's offset. I don't think we have rotation. Time, pretty self-explanatory. How long it lasts. Projectile. It starts out as a bullet projectile, just used for mainly countering. Branch, if on hit, it will go to one of these branches. Branch target. Yeah, we've been over this. Continue. If it hits a person, so if continue's off, when it hits a person, it will essentially be vaporized. The projectile will cease to exist. If continue is on, it will essentially be a piercing ability. Projectile tag. This is relevant to stuff like visual. I'm not sure if I went over that. Okay, visual does not have it. Okay. Is it for stuff like particle emitter? Do we not have a projectile tag for some of these? I thought we did. Hold on. Do you have one? Okay, I guess. Okay, I presume we just don't have a projectile tag on some of these blocks yet. I actually did not realize that. I thought we did. I'm just too JJS brained. So eventually when we get the projectile tag, It will be related to your visuals and particle emitters, where you can set the projectile tag and for both visuals and the projectile itself. And if a visual shares a projectile tag with the actual projectile, it will follow the main projectile bullet. Yeah. Damage accelerator speed, it is in... That is a copy and pasted description. I'm assuming it's speed as in starts per second, like JGS. So typically you would probably want to do around 40 for a fast projectile. Stun, yeah. Time, how long it can exist for. Precision X, Y, and Z. I guess offset. I guess you can't really change how big it is, unless this is it. Counter. Attack type. This essentially means the ranking of skills. So attack type, melee means it can counter a melee attack. Bullet, same thing, and explosion, same thing. Branch is for what happens if you actually successfully hit the branch. Successfully. Wait, did I? Well, I need to check something. Where is it? Ah, right here. Oh, there isn't a last round branch. Damn. So cancel enemy. We've been over this with hitbox. It will stop whatever they're doing. Branch will make you go to that branch. Remove on hit means it will stop having the counter up. Stun. How long you stun them for. Currently bugged from what I've heard. Time. How long the counter can stay up. Tag. Okay, this one's a bit of a complicated one. Imagine it as a variable, right? So in this case, we would want to set it. This is the tag name. This is the variable name in coding terms. So let's say if I were to call it tutorial, because that's what this is. This is a tutorial. It will, and with set on, it will set the tag as tutorial or variable to 1, because the value is 1 right here, for 5 seconds. Once the 5 seconds is up, it will essentially be just erased from your character. You'll just disappear. You can always re-enable the tag though. I don't want my wording to confuse you. You can always regain a tag. If it has set, okay. If you instead have add, and you were to have this block activated, it will instead increase the value by 1. So you can increase it by 1. You mainly want to use this for checking stuff like on hit stuff, or I don't know. Like if you were to get hit or hit someone and then have a passive that checks for it, or how many times you've hit someone, you do that. Remove means you'll remove the tag. Last hit, we've been over this. Check is where the tags get fun. It will check the value name or tag name and the value. If both of these matches up, it will move to selected branch. This is where all the fun bullshit with tag comes in. It's a great. Loop means the same thing. So it will believe hold means holding down the skill. So loop amount means how many times it will loop, and loop back means how many nodes it will loop back to. So let's say if I were to set this to 3, it will loop back 1, 2, 3, back to projectile, and then loop these 3 blocks in a row for 3 times. Pretty self-explanatory. Hit cancel is the fun shit. So currently, when the flip is set to off, it means that if you did not hit anything within the last second, you will move to the selected branch up here. If it is flipped, you will move to that branch if you did hit something. End lag means same, like pretty obvious thing, and where you will be essentially stunned for the amount of time. So just hit your shit. But unironically, typically used for missing attacks is what you would want to use the hit cancel for. Let's see, add health. This will add the amount of health. You can also use it to remove health on yourself for like HP gimmicks. Last hit, self-explanatory. Voice line. You can, if always play is on, it'll always play when that action happens. There's multiple categories, such as M1 or LMB, which is left mouse button, which is your normal jab move. Idle, yeah. Hurt, you get hit. Stun, when you're stunned. Why is there two? Oh, when you, what? Why is there two? Chase, when chase begins. Or layer 4, kill, yeah. Lesser works than sending, yeah. Last hit means you'll play on them. I don't know why do you do that, but yeah. Sound ID, text, I believe is used. I actually don't know because there is a subtitle thing. I'm assuming this is for other stuff. I'm sure. Subtitle. Display name is what will show up in the skill builder, I believe. I don't know what it's used for. Duration, just how long the subtitles will stay on screen. Last hit, self-explanatory. Text. Oh wait, display name. No, never mind, release. Display name is for the name of the character. So, template. So, template will say, yeah, when this box is activated. Or, node is activated. I'm so used to JDS terms. Sorry. Status effect. Pretty self-explanatory. Node, can stack means if this activates again, it will increase the tier of the status effect. Hide means the person won't see anything related to the status effect. You would use this for stuff like, I don't know. Remove means you'll remove the status. Stagger, all statuses. Some of these I don't know of, but you can probably find them on some sort of wiki. And if otherwise, you can always test them out. Tier means how tier it is. So let's say regen. Every tier of regen is 0.5 or plus 0.5 seconds, or plus 0.5 health every second. So this is like tier 4. You'll heal, and for 2 seconds, you'll in total heal 8 HP. Last hit, self-explanatory. We've been over this. Add stamina. This is also like add health. It's almost like exactly the same as add health actually, but for your stamina. So we don't really need to go for it. Add cooldown. This will target any currently available skills, or all your skills. M1 too, but for M1 related gank. Or all. It will add the cooldown. Use holding for what? Huh? Some things are cut off, so I don't know what they actually do. Note is, I believe, how long? Yeah, how much adds to the cooldown. So let's say a skill's on a 5-second cooldown, and this activates on this skill, or on that skill. So if it's 5, it'll add 5 seconds to that cooldown, making it 10. Or right to do -5, it'll lessen the cooldown by -5. Don't know what cooldown name is for. Ground check, purely to check if you're on the ground or in air. Branch for that exact thing. And then you can use it on the person who last hit, or yourself. Particle emitter. How much particles it emits per in total. Time, how long all those particles last. RGB, yeah. Coloring, last hit if it activates on them. Node, yeah. Offsets. Rate. How many particles show up per second? So, I believe it's at 0. When it's at 0, it spawns also once. Otherwise, it'll do it over the time frame. Speed, how fast the particles come out and shoots out, I believe. Texture ID is for your decals and what the particle effects would be. You could make some funny stuff with this, probably. Highlight. It's like the LRS. Splash, or LRS, or no, like, no, it's like, just a highlight move, so you can see through walls against people and all that. That stuff. Yeah. Mesh. This is kind of finicky, because you can't actually real-time see your meshes, but mesh ID, texture ID, scale, and then your offsets. You're gonna have a lot of fun offsetting it. You can meld it too to your arm for stuff like, character. Like DD3's hammer. Sorry, getting sorcerer. I don't usually talk this long in a row, but yeah, scale, yeah. And that's all the blocks. Now, up here is survivor. Means your character's classified as survivor. Appears empty means it will be classified as entity. This is the rig it will use, essentially just the character display. I think most people just set it to your avatar just for simplicity's sake. I hope that eventually we can make a little avatar thing that we can set it as, but until then, nine a boo boo. Extras. Animations. So let's say I want this to have. Where is it idle? I know. I guess like. Just legacy prototype. This is just gonna use. Yep, it'll just use those animations. Kill. If you don't really need this put on survivor before you kill, you really should. That. Voice inside what I believe is used for the intro. Oh no. Why is this here then? Wait, this adds a block. I don't know why that's there actually. Regardless, music. Sound ID. Chase layers. Yeah. It's pretty self-explanatory. I wish these were easier, but you know. Or better classified, but these are your chase layers. You're gonna have to bypass audios for this. I personally bypass my own audios for myself, so as soon as I can get my dish code working, I'm gonna make some bullshit. Intro, you can pick from any intro in the game and use it over the character. Passives. Build passive. This is essentially just a skill, right? You can use it to have meshes spawn on your character on spawn, or have some sort of gimmick. That's what you would do. It's essentially just a... It doesn't even show up here. You would have to go to extras every time. You can turn it on, trigger, keybind, all that bull. Or, yeah. You can give it names, you can build it, all that. I want to have 50 passives ever! I really wish these bleed texts were easier. Or fixed. Character stats at the bottom right. Health, jump power, max stamina, run speed, or walk speed. This is all pretty self-explanatory. You're a opponent player. I hope you understand how to use those. Custom character, up here. This is where you name your character. I'm going to name them, hi, Smiley Face. That's a colon D, close enough to Smiley Face if you think about it. And that's it. This activates on M1. I actually don't know how to change these on what skill they are, but I'll figure it out. I wish I could really use my VIP software, but I gotta wait until Ray fixes it. And she's on break, when she deserves a break. But I'm also really anxious to use this stuff. Regardless, that's my Shoddy tutorial, trying to explain all the vlogs and what everything does from my general knowledge. Wait, I need to pull up the image. Oh well, I exposed my entire download folder on accident. Not entire. Do I not have the image on hand? Okay, I was gonna pull up the use my moveset image. I don't have it though. I don't have it on hand. Go on JGS and use my movesets. Okay, thanks, bye.